Hi there, I'm Karen McCarthy and it's time to Karen-ize. Today's Friday when we do some crafting, and today I have a kind of special thing. Earlier this summer, I reconnected with a friend I hadn't really seen for several years, and she introduced me to a new friend. But that new friend ended up moving quite a ways away, far enough away that we may not see each other in person again. We can still reconnect through phones and chat, or what do you call it, Zoom, FaceTiming, that kind of thing. So it's cool. But anyway, when she left, she gave us each one of these. And she said, I want you to decorate it in a way that makes you think of me when you look at it. And I thought that was a really cool thing to do. I'd never even seen any, or heard of anything like that. So to make a memento to make me think of her. So I've been really pondering that. I didn't know her for very long, but I do know that her favorite colors are pink and purple. And I thought I would do something along those lines. So that's what we're going to do today, is decorate this. So let's get started. Oh, before I get started, I want to thank my subscribers and encourage you, if you haven't subscribed, to subscribe. I'm trying to grow my channel. My goal is to make 500 subscribers by the end of September. And if I do that, or when I do the 500, I am going to choose one person who makes comments, and they will get a little gift package from me. So I am just under 300 right now. So help me out by sharing this and letting people know about it. And anyway, let's get started. So I have three options of what I would like to do with this. I want to do some decoupaging, and then I want to create words with my Cricut, words that remind me of her or make me think of her. So I had three options. I know she loves pink and purple, and this just screamed pink, but this is such a small surface. None of these flowers are going to really fit. I mean, a few will, but not what I want. So I don't think I'm going to do that. Then I've got this one that's got kind of a vintage look, and I really love this. I've been trying to find something that I wanted to do with it. So I might go that way. I also had this one that has pink and purple in it. It's kind of a vintage look. Let's open it up here. Oh, it's one of those napkins that only has the print on one half. I'm just thinking on this one, the words might not show up as well. So I think I'm going to use this one. So the first thing you do when you're decoupaging with a napkin, and it can sometimes be the hardest part, and that is separating the plies. Now this is just a 2-ply. Looks like this one's going to be easy. One time I forgot to do this, and it does work, but it puckers a little bit more. So, and this part, you can just use like you would a paper towel. So I save those. And I've got my decoupage over here. Let me grab it. And a paintbrush. Let me get a little thing of water. Let me see what I've got here. I've got this. I thought I was prepared. I'm not. There we go. All right. Now I'm looking at this, and that wood is going to show through. So first step, I need to paint this white, and then it will be a very good background. So first thing I'm going to do is, we'll see if I can unknot this. Sometimes I can't with my fingernails. Take this off, and then I will go off camera and paint this, let it dry, and then come back to do the decoupaging. So I will see you in a little bit. Okay, it is dry. So now normally I put Mod Podge on and then put the napkin on, but I was watching, I think it was Jody's Craft Room the other day, and when she's doing a napkin like this that's so thin, she just puts it over the top and it soaks right through. So I'm going to try that. So I want these flowers. They're not going to be, let me see here. I love those flowers. I wonder if I put them up at the top, because I really would like as much of them as I can. And then I will just kind of, oops, match things up down here. So I want as much as possible. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my water pen, and I am going to cut off those first two leaves there, because I do want to use them somewhere else. I think they're really pretty. So if I were to cut them with scissors, it would really show up against the white. So if you cut them out with water, just right around the edge here, then it gives kind of more of a, not jagged look, I can't think of the word, but it doesn't show up as much. Let's see. I think I'm just going to use my fingers. So you want to hold on to what you want and then just carefully pull away the part that you got wet. Because it's kind of a ruffled look, it for some reason when you decoupage with it, it just blends right in. Now, I'm not feeling very coordinated today for some reason. Okay. Almost got it. I definitely, oh, I didn't do it along the flower. Or maybe I did, I don't know. I don't even know what I was going to say. It's one of those days, you guys. I still have to be really careful and not do too much since I had COVID, and I did a couple of the shots and I had more side effects from them. So my energy level is really weird, and I've had a busy week. So if I'm a little spacey, that's why. Okay, I'm going to put that over here, if I can get it off my finger. And I really like the background, so I don't think I'm going to cut those flowers out. I am just going to decoupage them on here, and then I will let that part dry. Actually, nope, for the flowers, I'm just going to cut them out. All right. Again, I don't think those little, yeah, I will cut the rose buds off and use them somewhere else. All right. I do like all these little, it's words, but you can't really read them because they're so tiny. So I might be, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what this looks like and then just go from there. So I'm going to, you don't need to watch me do this all. I showed you how to do it. I'm going to turn off the camera, get this done, and then show you the next step. All right, so I have probably cut out way more than I need. Normally I just put the whole napkin on and then just cut around the edges and stuff, but I did notice that when I started really looking at this, it was a lot of romantic love kind of stuff. Ooh, I see something else I would like. And that's just not what this is about. So I love these little rosebuds. So I figure if I have too much, I can always use them for another project because they definitely are images that I like. So let me just get this one out and then we'll see what we're going to do. I'm using the royal we, but Okay. Yeah, I think, oh, those fit really well there also, and there. Decisions. So I'm just going to play around with a little bit. This says eternal love, and I kind of like that because what really drew us together was our spiritual beliefs. We're both Christians, and definitely God's love is eternal. So I think I'm going to put that right in the center since that's a belief that we both have. And then I think I'm going to do the flowers at the top and the bottom. I'm going to have to cut the rosebud off because it's not going to fit there. I don't know where I got this napkin, but it would be cool to do it on just a bigger plaque too. Okay. So I'll put them there and there. And then I think let's see, these look like they go this direction, but if I put them this way, I think they'll still look okay. So I'll put one of these on, on either end here. And, oh, here's a littler eternal, but I like that big eternal love, so let's just leave that. You can second guess yourself too many times. Okay, and then I'm just going to put some rosebuds. I've got several. Let's see. I have a black and white one. Oh, here's some more. Put that one there. Sometimes you can't really tell what it's going to look like until you actually start doing it. So I'm just going to start doing it. So I'm going to get this, take this off. I'm going to get this in position. Now, it'll be covering up the hole, but I can always just poke that hole through if I want to use that, which I probably will. All right, so I'm going to grab some Mod Podge. I'm just going to hold it very gently and just start Mod Podging it on. You have to be pretty careful with these napkins. Whoa, don't breathe either, because did you see all that stuff fly off? I don't know if that's in camera range, but one-ply napkins are very fragile, so you want to kind of be careful. So I've got it so it's not going to move, and now I'm just going to get all of these edges. Now, I don't worry about the stuff that's sticking over, because when it's dry, I will just go back with my sanding block or an emery board or anything like that and just sand those edges, and it makes a nice clean edge. So I'm just making sure I have quite a bit so that it's going through. It doesn't take terribly long to dry, which is really nice. Okay, and then I'm going to take this off. I'm going to put these down first. So let me get that where I want it. I love decoupaging because, I mean, you can take these napkins or pictures or whatever and just make the coolest things with them. And it's so easy. I love things that make me look like I'm very talented, because I'm really not. Lots of practice. Oh, this brush is, it's dying. It's got hairs or bristles coming out. Bristles, that's what it is. I was trying to think of that on a video not too long ago. Couldn't think what you call the hairs on a paintbrush. All right, make sure this one is where I want it. Okay. I've got this huge thing of Mod Podge. I don't know if it's in camera range, but it's getting down to the bottom. So it's a little harder to get it out. I need to just take it out and put it in a smaller jar, I think. Or pour some out each time that I need some. Now this goes on white if you've never used Mod Podge before. It goes on white, but it dries clear. And it gives a really nice finish. I use the matte. They do have a gloss, but I really like the matte. Okay, I want to make sure that all parts of that eternal sign are on. Okay. Whoops. It's cool to do something like this in a in a workshop. Oh no. See how fragile they are? Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to scrunch that back over. Yeah, we can put something there to cover it up. Obviously, my brush I was using it a little too vigorously. Okay. Fun to do in a workshop, because you can give people the same supplies and they come up with such... Sorry, I can't think and do this at the same time. They come up with such amazing differences. And I love the creativity and the different viewpoints, you know, that cause the designs to turn out differently. It's really cool. So I printed up some words on my Cricut, but I don't know, to get them on here, they have to be like an inch big. I haven't tried to put the transfer tape on yet and do all the picking out of the extra stuff. I may be doing something different because they're tiny. Okay. So now I really want the rosebuds. There we go. I don't care if it's totally covered. Can definitely have some of the white showing through. Oops, I want this one little piece off. There we go. Whoops. Well, I'm going to have to put that little piece of the rose on in a minute. I was choosing words that made me think of her, and then I realized that really they're attributes of all my friends. I mean, we all have more than that. I mean, like I have some friends that are really crafty, not like a fox, but, you know, this kind of crafty. I have friends who are very musical, which I love music, but I am definitely not musical. When it says in the Bible to make a joyful noise, that's pretty much what I do when I sing. So I even embarrass myself when it's just me. There we go. Let's put one up here. Let's see. Got a couple more, so I think I'm going to put these like they're coming down from the big flower, which is originally what they were like. Whoops, I'm not dipping deep enough. And one last one. So there's really no purple in here. And I would have loved to have tied in purple. But to do purple letters, I think would have been too much. So I did my letters in black because I want them to really stick out, but I don't want them to, I think purple letters would have detracted. So, okay, now we're just going to let that dry. I'm going to go wash this brush before it gets destroyed, and we'll be back when it's dry. Okay, this is all dry. And now I'm going to just take this edge part. I think it's almost going to look like porcelain when I get done here. If you hear any noise, my husband is working on putting a front porch / deck, I don't know what you call it, on our house. And he's drilling and pounding and stuff. So if you hear any noise in the background, that's what's going on. I am in the basement, but it's still pretty noisy. So I just kind of at an angle down. I may need to get a new one. This disc is a little bit old. Let's see, I've got a sanding block here. Let's see if it'll even get into all those little nooks and crannies. Looks like there we go. Well, my goodness. All of my, oh, you know what? Here's something that I think will work. This is pretty new. There we go. I don't have to be quite, sometimes I sand this off when it's, that went onto the edge, when it's still a little bit wet, and then you have to be pretty careful. I don't have to be so careful this time. So sometimes if I need to go back and forth, I can. I went back and forth in my head about whether to loop this over, and I decided to just keep the edges white because all the nooks and crannies, and it might not have laid real flat, even, whatever you want to call it. Okay, this is taking a little longer than I thought, so I'm going to shut the camera off, and I will be back in a minute for the last step. All right, the sanding is all done. Oh my goodness, I need to get some new sanding tools. If I had to do it over again, I think I would wrap it around the sides and then just, I think I would be able to smooth it out pretty well, because I think it would have been easier if I could have just sanded on this side, just on the edge, instead of trying to go inside to do it. So if you do something like this, just a thought. I have put one of the words peace on here. I think I said earlier, in the middle is eternal love, because our relationship with Christ is the center of our friendship, which is really cool, and God has eternal love for us. And then peace, of course, is what we wish for everyone to have in their life, even through hard times. All right, so the next one I have is strong, and that's because she, like most of us, has been through some pretty tough times, and she remains strong. Even when she thinks she's weak, you know, we can still remain strong even if we're feeling weak. We're getting through it, and that is strength. So sometimes I have a love-hate relationship with my Cricut, because I have a lot of trouble getting things to adhere once I've made them sometimes. And this is a little bit of a bumpy surface. This one went on pretty easily, so I always do it, and then as I start to lift up, I'm going to turn this way so I can see it as I lift it up. I just make sure that, nope, it's not sticking yet. Just do it some more. If you have any tricks on how to make this process a little smoother, I don't know if it's that I just don't have as much strength in my hands anymore, or if it's, everybody deals with this. You know, a lot of times when people do videos, they cut out that part, so you never know if they're having those troubles also. There we go, now it's staying. I'm going to go slowly just to make sure every letter is. And I did not weed out all of the little, like in the circle of the O or the G, because they were so tiny. It was a little scary. I didn't want to mess them up. One of the words I had thoughtful I was going to put on here, and I couldn't even get the T's to come off because they were so small. Okay. So then I've got, whoops, there's one of my things I'm saving for another project. So let's cut off another word. Put these over here. And this one is loved, because she definitely is loved. So we're going to put that down here. And again, I didn't weed out everything. I did on one, and it was just, the letters were trying to come up also, so I thought, you know what, you can still read it. So I'm just gonna, I loved this font, so I just wanted to keep it. Oh, not yet. So I would love to know what kinds of projects you like to work on. I think I ask the same questions almost every time. I would love for you to communicate with me. Let me know what you think about this project. Let me know what your future project is, what you're working on right now, where you are. I see from my analytics that I've got some people out of the United States, but I would love to know. Now this one is supposed to be caring, and the R just would not come off, but I think that I can just take a marker. Let's see, let's put this where I can read it a little bit better. There we go. I think I can take a marker and kind of replicate it. I didn't want to, whoa, it moved. I didn't want to try that with thoughtful, because for one thing, it was I mean, I maybe could have put it up here. I just finally decided to leave that one out. So Trisha, if you're watching this, know that thoughtful was going to be on here also, because you are very thoughtful, very caring of other people. All right, let's see if that's coming off. Whoop, whoop, the N almost didn't. Oh, the I's not coming off. I don't want to do two letters. I don't want to try to replicate this script. It's not my handwriting, so I would never be a good forger, because I can't replicate someone else's handwriting. No, that I is being a bugger. I think if I can catch the tip. There we go. All right. So let's see. I have a fine tip marker here. Let's make sure it's working. And, oh, where'd the C go? Oh no. Ah. I didn't notice that the C did not come off. It's a little crooked now, but oh, see, it's trying to stay on here. There we go. All right, let's see if I can, I don't know if this will make it dark enough. Oh, maybe it's not even going to, there we go. Okay. Whew. All right, the next one is kind, and that she definitely is. Put that here. Caring and kind, kind of a similar concept, but I don't know. There's a little bit more to kind than just caring. So they may be synonyms, but I am putting them both on anyway. That, there's a bumpy spot right there. That's going to be a little tricky. So when I get done with this, I will put another coat of Mod Podge on top. I do have some edges that hadn't quite adhered, so they need to be, oh, the eyes are being a pain. They need to be secured a little bit more, but I also want to make sure that these letters are secured. Oh yes, what's with the eye? Maybe there's just not enough surface space to it. Of course it is, there's a little bit of a bump there. Maybe if I come, there we go. Okay, and the last one is blessed. Now, I don't know if you can see the D. The D did not want to come off very well, so I may have to kind of help that out with the pin a little bit. I got it to go back on, but it's kind of messed up. If it's a bigger printout, I can usually get them back on, but something this tiny, and with my eyesight, I mean, even with my glasses off on my face right up to it, it was a little hard to see how to fix it. So I decided to leave it like it was because I would probably only make it worse, and then just do something with a pen if I needed to. So also tell me what you think about this idea of, if you're moving away, giving something. I mean, if the person is not a crafty person, then you would probably make it yourself. Just ask them maybe what was I going to put up here? Oh, I don't have a word up here. I'll have to make another word and put it up here and then finish. Anyway, maybe ask them to tell you some character traits of theirs and then make it for them. But if they're crafty, giving them a blank surface like this and having them decorate it to remind you of them. What do you think of that idea? So maybe I'll do thoughtful again and try to put that up here. And then I will Mod Podge it, and I will put a picture of the finished product at the end. I'm probably going to, I have a little stylus, and I just take the stylus and poke that hole out, because I will be putting this above the desk where I do my quiet time with God. And I'll just put a push pin through there and stick it to the wall. All right, thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.